everyone. We are group number 7. My name is Artie, Liz, James, and Shafiq. Today we're talking about social media, and the topic is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're going to do a brief overview about social media because you've heard about it in your professional development and previous business communications courses, but today we're really bringing you a kind of like a current event that's happening, but it's also something that's ongoing. So first of all, what is social media? So with an example, how many of you have a social media account? And how many of you like donuts? Two relevant things, but I'm going to combine them together. So basically, you have a donut and you have a Twitter account. You say, I'm eating a hashtag a donut. If you're on Facebook, you just tell everybody you like donuts, and people who like donuts, they like it, your post. If you're on Foursquare, you say, this is where I eat donuts. This is my spot. If you're on Instagram, you say, this is a vintage photo of my donut. If you're on YouTube, it's here I am eating the donut. And on LinkedIn, my skills include donut eating. And when it comes to Pinterest, here's a donut recipe. And Spotify, now listening to donuts. So that's a brief overview. But in reality, social media is taking over. It's taking over newspapers, taking over television, it's taking over radio stations. And just to put in numbers, Facebook alone has 16 billion users on a daily basis, according to statistics from 2016. On Twitter, there are 325 million daily users. And if you put it about worldwide, it's not only America. You can see it in North America, you see it in Central America, you see it in Europe happening, even South America. So it's social media use is everywhere. And so now for something to go viral, it's very easy. As long as it's catchy, people can retweet it, people can repost it, people can share it, email it. There are many ways. And as a result of that, not so very good things happen. And Liz is here to tell you more about it.
I'm sure many of you have heard or seen memes on social media about former member of the United States for the New York representative because of his last name, Weiner, so they've made a tons of memes on him because he was caught sexting. So what happened, this is not his first offense. He actually got caught a couple years ago and he left the office to be a stay-at-home dad. And now his wife is one of the main advisors for Hillary Clinton. So of course this is also affecting her campaign because she's running for president. So because this has been his second offense, his wife is actually divorcing him. And it took social media by storm. Trump even tweeted about it. Trump used it as leverage. Of course he would. And I mean, that just goes to show you that this little thing that he did went worldwide. And the first time he got caught was because he accidentally tweeted it. So, and then he said he got hacked, but he didn't. He then later on retracted his statement, and he actually had tweeted it himself, trying to DM it to one of his followers. So that's just to show you the power of the internet. Of course, screenshots, he deleted it, but it's always going to be there. And just to show you some of the top, not just social media, but even like Wall Street, Washington, CNN, E, and New York Times got a hold of the story, and they also have a huge followers on social media. So even if just New York Times has posted the story, they have over 1 million followers. That's thousands of shares, and those shares have followers. So you can see the story just blew up so far.
And those, by the way, are just pictures that are presentable in the class. And when Liz says it, we really can't show it to you guys in class. It was shared on Twitter, but just know it's something inappropriate, and we just couldn't do it for the sake of our grades.
Just Google it and it'll be the first one you see.
Or not. And so the question is, who is really on Twitter? So as you can see, everybody's raising their hands on there. 35 global heads of state, 84% of state governors are on there, and even more than 40 of top global religious leaders are on there. So whether they want to see some sort of news or not, it's going to be on their homepage. They're going to come across it. Even if you're just reading about a headline, Anthony Weiner caught sexting. That's it. That's all you know. That's how you go about your day. The next thing you know, you hear that about in your office, or somebody sent you a link to the article, just something like, don't do this. And James is going to tell us about quick facts.
So just to kind of reiterate the impact social media has, it's changed over the past 20 years where people got most of their news from the TV or newspapers, which is the next day, or even the Time Newsweek was a week delayed. So you can imagine the instant something happens, people find out about it. So social media's really changed. Print publications and things have become slow, and even radio and TV can be delayed. They're usually behind the game compared to tweets and Facebook posts. There are some good things though about social media. The reach that you have as any individual. You don't have to have a broadcasting degree. You don't have to have a broadcasting license. You don't even have to have any really any money. Just access to the internet, and you can put your opinions, your thoughts, all those things out there, and really share with the world important information. Unlimited access, obviously. Anytime you have an internet connection, and then there's contact building. Really being able to build your network, and that's really important. That's one of the key things that I use social media for. Good ones that I leverage personally. This is a little thing I threw in there because I've been working at Microsoft for 16 years, and I've done probably close to 100 interviews with them. So I was just going to impart a little bit of my personal practices when I'm doing interviews, just so everybody kind of has one man's opinion, I guess. But I do look at social media. Typically, it's a Facebook. The other ones are a little hard to track people down. And I'll tell you, most of the time, it's either a negative impression I get from people or a neutral. There are a few times that I've seen things that have been pretty inspiring. It's usually when somebody's involved in a group. It's like an industry group, or maybe community or charity or things like that. When I see them, drinking at a frat party or something like that, so be it. There's oftentimes things that are far worse. And I'll ask people about it even. So think about that when you're posting. We have freedom of speech, but you gotta remember who your audience is for that type of stuff. Those short-term and again, kind of the bad, just to reiterate, lack of privacy, hacking, as Anthony Weiner said he was, identity theft, and cyberbullying. We've all seen, tons of articles about that stuff recently.
So we are all familiar with the known list. Bullying used to be one of the epidemic things in our country. Now it's getting even easier because teasing or telling someone, how to harass them, or spreading the propaganda or gossips is easy, right? You can just type something, text, email, you just name it, it's easy, right? So we are here as a student, right? We have a focus to build our career, our future. So we need to say no to bullying. We don't want to bully anyone, or we don't want to be victim of bullying, right? And another thing is the confidential information. How much we need to put to benefit us from the social media. So we have to be very, very careful what we put in here, because if it's good, it may benefit us. If it's bad, it may haunt us there. And specific location checks in. We all have a cell phones, right? This location checks in is to use for marketing purpose. Now every smartphone has all the apps has this turn-on thing. So somebody can track you down while you're eating, while you're drinking, what are you doing? So we need to be very, very careful using this feature. And beside of our faith, our color, our race, our religion, we shouldn't threaten violence to each other. So we need to be avoiding things. And the last is the unprofessional public profiles. When you're a kid, you do so many stupid things, right? We do things and we forget. But in this social media age, they are brutal, merciless, they don't forget. Whatever we put in there, it stays in there. And it remains until someone looking for things like James says, he's looking for the profile, right, Facebook. So here is the things, look at what happened to Anthony Weiner. He was he had a bright future as a politician, as a congressman. He was planning to be mayoral candidate. Guess what? Stupid mistakes. He posted something. He ruined his life. He lost his job, his career, and at the end, he lost his wife. So here is my question to you. how do you use social media? How someone can use social media to develop a professional links? Or how has social media helped you to network and find a new job? Thank you.